This first one is called Learn to Swim, and I grew up on Lake Superior. I just was under the assumption everyone knows how to swim, and they don't, because this is about someone who doesn't know how.
You're living in the Twin Cities now.
Yes.
Okay. How'd you land there? I read your bio. It's pretty colorful, actually.
Yeah. I had been working with this producer, and he convinced me to quit my job at the coffee shop, that I was squandering my talents and that I should move to Minneapolis. And I didn't really have anything better to do, and I thought maybe he was right. Maybe I was squandering my talents. I was living in Bayfield, Wisconsin at the time, a real small town, and I'd played the 3 or 4 venues that were there several hundred times, and it was becoming a little stagnant. So I up and moved to the Twin Cities and went through a whole bunch of different changes and didn't end up working with that producer. In the end, I ended up working with Ken Valdez, who's been just magnificent. So he produced the last 2 CDs I've released, Temporary Monsters and Lucky, and he and I have met up with a really nice network of musicians. That's where I met DJ Rickerd here, and just it's been a great city for being a musician. It's very inviting, and it's not dog eat dog. It's just really a community. It's really nice.
Yeah, there's a nice kind of a scene going on there. It doesn't seem competitive from the times that I've played up there or been up there.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, let's see, what else do I remember from your bio? That you played bluegrass on the East Coast for a while? Or played in a bluegrass band? Or...
Right. It was kind of a bluegrass duo. I was going to this university out there and became connected with the resident musician there, and he was a hammered dulcimer player, and he introduced me to a whole bunch of really great musicians. He introduced me to Pete Seeger. In fact, I got to meet him, which was awesome. Yeah. And but that's the type of music that was hot over there at the time, I guess. And so did a bit of playing in coffee houses and stuff like that, and then released an album when I moved to Madison after leaving there, and released Tide, which is my catalog. It's just endless.
Well, in which case, you probably have another tune, right?
Yes, indeed. So my youngest brother, sadly, is doing a prison stint right now in New Lisbon, so he hasn't gotten to hear this little sonic morsel yet, but he'll get to when he gets out. But it's called Mess Is Yours, and it's just about getting letters from a sibling in prison.
And robbed you blind and then punched you in the nose. But the mess is yours, and the dress is hers. The mess is yours, and the rest is hers. This is yours. Yes, it is. You tried your best, but you left a mess. Now the mess is yours. You could love me for affection, even if it's all pretend. You love playing the house even when you know it's gonna burn. Try to be the man, but every chapter ends in tears, and you still chose the bumpy road after all these years. Now the mess is yours, and the dress is yours, and the best is yours, and the rest is hers. This is yours. Yes, it is. You tried your best, but you left a mess. Now the mess is yours. When temperaments are touching, tolerance is short, and the silver line is rusted. You gotta know when to avoid. I hold the letter you wrote, and it took a long time to compose. And how long you write your letters for, God only knows. The mess is yours, and the dress is hers. The mess is yours, and the rest is hers. Yes, it's yours. Yes, it is. You tried your best, but you left a mess. Now the mess is yours. It's yours. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's yours.
All right. Well, you have a new CD, or it's pretty new, right? Which is Lucky.
Yeah.
And I've been playing that played several cuts off it in the last few weeks.
Thank you.
And we'll hear one more in just a minute, actually. What else is in the future?
I'm excited to be playing with DJ. Actually, we've been doing some shows, and people are enamored. Maybe you want to tell them about your instrument and how.
Yeah, well, I guess a little backstory on what. So I met Sasha through Ken Valdez, as she'd mentioned before. He's also a songwriter and guitar player. He's got a real blues, funk, rock, R&B, a lot of that kind of stuff going on. So I drummed for him, and Sasha was in the market for a drummer for her CD release, and the network led me to her. But one time while I was out on the road with Ken, we walked into a music store, and there's this little wooden box sitting on the floor, and Ken lit up like a Christmas tree and told me that I must purchase this thing. And I regret to say, as a percussionist, I had never seen one or heard of it or what it is. It looks
You're playing regular kit drums.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And it looks remarkably like a drawer because that's where it has its origins in. According to Ken, it's a traditional Spanish instrument, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it has its roots in Zydeco music when they were using a lot of recycled parts for instruments. The washboard came about, so people were apparently taking drawers out of dressers or other things and putting things in it to get this sound. So the instrument has since been sort of organized and structured. So it's this wooden box that has snares on the upper portion and then a big hollow opening down at the bottom, so you get kind of a kick and snare sound. Mm-hmm. Ken told me to buy a set of these things called monster brushes and play with that because in that format it sounds like a condensed drum kit. And due to the small stage for Sasha's release, that was the instrument of choice. And ever since then, it's become this sort of unique little niche thing for an acoustic duo. You don't usually see a drummer on an acoustic duo, and at least Sasha likes it, so it makes me happy, keeps me busy.
Yeah,
so
right.
hopefully we'll be able to do more of that and just keep
it's
that going.
a lot more compact to carry around than a full drum kit.
My back is thanking me for sure.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Okay. So back, you stay in the Twin Cities for a while then?
Yeah, it's cool. I just got an email from a friend who let me know that out in Nashville there was a CD review of Lucky, and they looked at it very favorably. It was NashvilleMusicNews.com, I think, is where you can find it. But they were very nice in their compliments to the album and stuff. And so I've been told by the publicist that this is a good thing, and that some of the heavy hitters are going to see this, and just hold on, get ready.
Hold on. Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I hope so.
Well, I enjoyed it. It's been, as I said, I've been playing it the last few weeks. All right. So the at hand we have tonight's house concert with Sasha Mercedes that you've been listening to, and DJ Rickerd, and there are seats left. And you can get all the info you need by calling the station, 256-2001. Holly's out there, and she'll take your names or get you the info, whatever you need. And I think we're going to play a cut off the album too. Right? Sure.
And they can get that. They can get the album through my website, SashaMercedes.com. They can Facebook friend me. I don't have very many friends. I'm kind of a mean girl, so I don't have a lot of them. So hit me up
friendly.
there.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. And then just if you Google, it's on iTunes and all that. And
I bet you'll probably have a couple copies at the house concert tonight. All right. Well, we're going to listen to a tune off Lucky. And it's called Three Birds. Anything you want to tell us about the song or the recording for that matter?
Yeah, it's about my grandma, and she's amazing. We've been so close my entire life, and she and I used to sit in her basement and drink Tang and paint these Bob Ross pictures together, and she would never sign any of her paintings. She'd always take them and hide them in a drawer where nobody could ever see them, and I asked her, why don't you ever sign your work? Aren't you proud of it? And she said, look on these pictures, every single one of them has 3 little birds up in the corner. And indeed they did. So I wrote the song Three Birds about Grandma and her art.
Okay, sounds good. All right, the album is called Lucky, SashaMercedes.com, and for info on a concert tonight, just give us a call. Holly will tell you all about it, 256-2001. And here's Three Birds.
Grandma sat for hours in the basement, painting pictures of where we'd like to be. Yeah, we'd sit and think, we'd laugh and drink. Man, I never had it so good.